You thought love would complete you, but when it broke you, it revealed who you really are. There's a pain that doesn't destroy, it rebuilds. And maybe your heartbreak isn't your ending. Maybe it's your rebirth. You once believed love would complete you, but when it broke you, it revealed who you truly are. There is a kind of pain that doesn't destroy, it recreates. And maybe your pain isn't your ending. Maybe it's your rebirth. When you choose discipline over surrender, rise instead of collapse. Love yourself instead of waiting for someone else to love you. The world begins to rearrange itself around your inner strength. At first, nothing changes. The room is still empty, laughter still silent, and your heart still burns each time the memories return. But day by day, breath by breath, you start to realize that pain isn't killing you, it's training you. Love, when present, makes us believe we need someone else to feel whole. But when it leaves, we finally see that its absence reveals our true worth. You once loved deeply, trusted completely, sacrificed sincerely, and then one day, everything fell apart. No goodbye, no explanation. Just silence and questions without answers. Yet that was also the moment you were given the greatest opportunity of your life, the chance to rebuild yourself from the ruins. Think of steel. Before it becomes strong, it must endure fire. The human heart is the same. It becomes powerful only after being forged in the flames of pain, loss, and persistence. Every crack is not a weakness, but the place where the light enters. It's where you learn patience, forgiveness, and how to stand tall even when everything around you falls away. As you keep walking, not to prove anything, not to gain attention, but simply because you refuse to give up, you are rebuilding your true strength. Strength is not the absence of pain. It's the decision to keep going, even when your heart is melting. Maybe today you still cry. Maybe tonight you still remember. But if tomorrow you wake up and still choose to believe in your own rebirth, you've already won half the battle. This is not a journey of forgetting your past love. It's a journey of learning to love yourself more. One day, you'll look back and realize that love didn't destroy you. It taught you how to rise, how to love, and how to feel whole without anyone else. It is the quietest victory, yet the greatest one of all. People often say that only the strong can rise after being broken, that they have extraordinary willpower, hearts made of steel, or simply better luck. But that's one of the biggest misconceptions. No one is born with a heart immune to pain. No one enters love already armored. We are all fragile when we love, because love means opening the door to the most vulnerable part of ourselves. The difference between those who collapse and those who rise isn't innate strength, it's how they face their pain. One person chooses to run, to bury their emotions, to seek temporary pleasures that fill the void. The other chooses to pause, to face it, and to listen. They let the pain speak all it needs to say. They let the tears wash away the old wounds. And in that very moment of weakness, they discover a new seed of life within. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not time that heals, it's choice. You can choose to break in your pain, or choose to rebuild from it. You can choose to resent the one who left, or to be grateful. They helped you see what was real. Every small choice shapes your path to rebirth. Love isn't a contest of who can endure more or forget faster. It's a mirror that reveals who we truly are when our defenses are gone. When love breaks, we don't lose the other person. We lose the version of ourselves that only knew how to live for them. And that's why the pain runs so deep. But hidden within that loss is a gift, the chance to meet yourself again. You don't have to be cold, nor pretend you've moved on. Healing doesn't mean shutting down emotions. It means learning to live with them without letting them define you. You still remember, but you no longer ache. You still love, but you no longer depend. You still hope, but you no longer wait for someone to save you. They say time heals all wounds, but time only brings forgetfulness. If we learn nothing from the pain, true healing is willpower, the courage to face yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not okay, but I will be. I'm not strong yet, but I'm learning to be. Look at those who have healed and become better versions of themselves. They are not made of stone, they are the ones who knew how to cry, to accept, and to start over. They don't deny their past. They learn to walk with it. That is true strength, not controlling emotions, but letting them flow without losing yourself. If you're in pain, don't believe you're weak. If you're crying, don't think you're losing. In the very moment you feel shattered, your heart is being reforged, beat by beat. It's learning to stretch, to endure, to keep its rhythm. Just as a tree grows stronger roots after facing a storm, we too must face loss to understand our true strength. Love doesn't destroy you. It only exposes the parts of you that need healing. The one who hurt you didn't steal your peace, they unknowingly showed you where peace had never been built. Once you understand that, pain is no longer your enemy, it becomes your teacher. And when you learn that lesson, you realize no heart ever truly breaks. It only expands to hold more wisdom, gratitude, and resilience. That's when you stop asking, why did they leave, and start asking, who can I become from here? True strength doesn't come from perfect love. It comes from how you rise after love has fallen apart. People often think the heart is protected by peace, but in truth, it only grows stronger after being wounded and still dares to open again. It's pain that makes you mature. It's loss that wakes you up. And it's everything you once feared that becomes the fuel to rebuild yourself steadier, wiser, and deeper than before. When love ends, you don't lose everything. You only lose the illusion that you can't live without someone. What remains is you raw, vulnerable, but more real than ever. This is the beginning of a new chapter, where you learn to stand on your own, where you understand that your worth isn't measured by who loves you, but by how well you can stand when no one is there. The truth is, no one can save you from your pain except you. There's no medicine that replaces the courage to face reality. You can't heal by pretending to be happy or by running into someone new. True recovery comes when you dare to look at your cracks and touch them with understanding. Every wound holds a story. Every tear is a reminder that your heart still knows how to love. Strength is not the absence of pain. Strength is feeling the pain and still choosing to move forward. You still work, still smile, still help others, even when silence echoes inside. That's courage, the quiet resilience the world rarely sees. The strong aren't those who never cry, but those who know when to wipe their tears and keep walking. A heart that's been broken understands the value of peace more than anyone. One who's fallen knows the weight of standing again. When you endure pain, you are training your will. When you accept loss, you are learning the lesson of letting go. When you choose to forgive, you unlock freedom for yourself, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Deep down, you'll realize love never truly disappears. It simply changes form. When someone leaves, love remains as love for life, for yourself, and for the journey ahead. Pain becomes the doorway to a deeper version of who you are. Once you walk through it, you are no longer the same. You become someone who can love without losing yourself, give without fear of emptiness. Remember, everything great is built on what once collapsed. A strong castle is rebuilt from the ruins of failure. A powerful soul is forged from the fragments of heartbreak. Without suffering, there is no growth. Without wounds, no wisdom. Without separation, no chance to meet your true self again. Love teaches you how to connect, but heartbreak teaches you how to survive. Love makes you fly, but loss teaches you how to walk alone. Both are necessary. No great journey is built only on happiness. The deepest souls are those who have loved, lost, and still chosen to love again, not someone else, but themselves. So don't fear when your heart aches. Don't run when emotions rise. Every pain is a training ground of life, a test to see if you're ready to evolve. When you rise from your wounds, you don't just become stronger, you become free. You no longer fear loneliness, abandonment, or loss. You understand that even if the world turns away, you can still stand tall, because true strength never comes from outside, it has always been within you, waiting to be awakened. You are not weak because your heart hurts. You are not foolish for loving the wrong person. and you do not deserve to be broken simply because you gave your trust completely. What you feel doesn't make you lesser. It only proves that you once dared to love deeply, to believe, to open your heart in a world where most people choose to close theirs just to avoid pain. When you lose someone, it's not just the relationship that ends. Sometimes you lose the version of yourself that existed through them. You once lived to make them happy, sacrificed your dreams, and fought to be seen. So when they're gone, the emptiness you feel isn't only because they're missing, it's because you don't yet know how to live for yourself. That's why heartbreak cuts so deep. It's not just their absence, it's the loss of who you were. But please, don't blame yourself. No one is born knowing how to love right. We learn through mistakes, heartbreaks, sleepless nights, and unanswered questions. If you're crying, it means your heart still feels. If you're in pain, it means hope still lives in you. Pain, as harsh as it is proof that you're still alive, still capable of deep emotion, and that's something to honor. You don't need to hide your emotions. Don't rush to pretend you're fine. Don't force yourself to look strong. Strength isn't suppression, it's the courage to face, to admit, to let the tears fall and still keep living. The truth is, no one is always okay. Everyone has nights staring at the ceiling, wondering why they weren't enough. But understand this, the emptiness you feel isn't because you lack something, it's because you gave too much without saving any love for yourself. Heartbreak isn't a sign of failure, it's the natural result of giving the most precious thing you have, your heart. Your emotions are valid. Don't let anyone tell you to move on faster or just forget. Healing has no deadline. No one has the right to schedule your tears. Everyone recovers in their own rhythm, and you are allowed to go slow. You are allowed to be weak, to miss, to hurt, but don't judge yourself through your pain. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're healing. Avoiding pain won't make it disappear, it only buries it deeper. But if you dare to sit with it, to listen to it, slowly, it will become just a memory. Imagine your heart as a room. When love leaves, it becomes empty, cold, and quiet. You can choose to lock the doors, let dust settle, let darkness take over, or you can open the window, let light in, let the wind carry away the stale air. You don't have to invite someone new right away. Just let the room breathe. That's the first step of healing, allowing yourself to breathe again. Don't blame yourself for trusting, for loving, for giving. Disappointment doesn't mean you loved the wrong person. It means you expected perfection where it could never exist. Real love doesn't make you lose yourself. It helps you discover who you truly are. And sometimes, the one who hurt you ends up teaching you the most valuable lesson: that you never needed anyone else to feel whole. I know you're tired. I know there are moments you wish time could turn back, so you could change something, but you don't need to change the past. You only need to understand that everything that happened is guiding you toward a stronger, calmer version of yourself. Every pain you endure teaches you how to stand. Every tear you shed reminds you your heart is still alive, still healing. So be gentle with yourself. Don't rush, don't force, don't compare your healing to anyone else's. Let time do its work, and let your heart learn to mend in its own rhythm. One day, you'll wake up and realize the pain has softened. It's still there, but it no longer controls you. You've learned to live with it, even to thank it. And in that moment, you'll see it clearly. You were never weak. You've been growing stronger all along. The human heart is like glass, clear, fragile, and easily broken. When it falls, it doesn't just crack, it shatters into hundreds of tiny pieces. You can see yourself in each fragment, pieces shaped like memories, trust, and unfinished promises. And as you try to gather them, your hands may bleed, yet you keep reaching piece by piece, because you believe that somewhere within those fragments you might find your heart again. But what you're really doing isn't just repairing what was broken, you're recreating yourself. In Japanese art, there is a concept called times kintsugi, times the practice of mending broken pottery with gold. The purpose isn't to hide the cracks, but to honor them. the fractures become part of its beauty. In the same way, you don't need to erase your past to become new. You only need to make peace with it to let your cracks shine. Every crack in your heart is a trace of love. It proves you once loved deeply, trusted, and dared to give. When you mend those cracks with understanding, gratitude, and inner discipline, you transform pain into strength. You are no longer transparent glass. You become a unique masterpiece that reflects light in your own way. Pain, when seen clearly, is like fire in a forge. It burns away weakness and illusion, leaving only what is pure. Like steel, you only become truly strong after passing through the flame. When love leaves, it feels like you're burning from the inside out. But that fire is purifying you, burning away fear, attachment, and illusion so that strength and clarity can emerge. Remember the image of a seed. It only sprouts when its shell breaks open. If it never cracks, it never grows. The same is true for your heart. It must break to expand. Pain isn't the end, it's the beginning. What breaks is what opens. Sometimes you can only find your path forward when everything around you has fallen apart. Love is like a river. As it flows, it carries not just clear water, but also silt, stones, and fragments of memory. When the water recedes, the riverbed reveals its marks. Yet it's the silt that makes the soil fertile again. The things that once hurt you, when seen through gratitude, become nourishment for your rebirth. Don't fear the cracks. Don't hide the scars. They are proof that you have lived, loved, and endured. A person who has never been hurt has never truly opened their heart. And someone who has never suffered for love can never fully grasp joy. Just as a painting needs both light and shadow to be complete, your heart becomes deeper when it has walked through the dark. Think of a rainbow. It only appears after the rain. You can't see a rainbow in a clear sky. Just as you can't find true strength in calm days. Pain is the rain that washes away illusion, so that when the light returns, you can finally see your true colors. Maybe today you feel broken, like everything has fallen apart. But look closer, the cracks within you are reflecting the light of growth. Every time you choose not to give up, every time you choose forgiveness, every time you choose to keep going, another layer of gold seals your heart. And slowly, you're no longer who you were. You become someone who can stand in the light and tell your story without trembling. One day, when someone asks, "How did you survive that pain?" you'll smile, because you'll know you didn't. Times get over, times it. You times went through, times it. And in that journey, you were reborn. There comes a moment in every healing journey when you realize you no longer want to go back. Not because you've stopped loving, but because you've become someone new. The person who once begged, hoped, and believed that only love could make them whole is gone. In their place stands someone calmer, wiser, someone who knows their worth no longer depends on anyone's gaze. When you love someone, you unconsciously create a version of you for them. You smile the way they like, live the way they prefer, stay silent when they don't understand. But when love fades, you're left in the emptiness wondering, who am I without them? That question may hurt, but in truth, it is the doorway to your rebirth. Because when you start asking it, you begin returning to your true self. You no longer do things out of fear of losing someone. You start living times so you don't lose yourself. You no longer seek love as a lifeline, but as a mirror reflecting the wholeness within you. You understand that love is not a shelter, but a place of growth. It's no longer, I need someone to love me, but I am someone who loves and deserves love. When you shift from doing times, to times becoming asterisk, everything changes. You don't try to be strong so someone will notice you are strong, because that's who you're becoming. You don't try to forget to prove you're fine. You're at peace because the past has served its purpose. And you stop asking, why did they do this to me? Instead, you say, thank you, because of that, I learned what I needed to know. Your new identity isn't built from happiness, but from learning to hold pain with compassion. You begin to see that peace doesn't mean avoiding emotions, it means mastering them. You're no longer swept away by every wave of feeling, no longer letting anger or longing dictate your actions. You pause, breathe, and ask, what would my stronger self do right now? That is transformation, when your actions begin to flow from a new identity. The one who was once fragile now chooses steadiness. The one who once searched now creates. The one who once feared losing now knows they already have enough. And each time you respond differently, you strengthen this new self. Every morning you wake, maybe the ache is still there, but instead of asking, why does it still hurt? You smile and whisper, I'm healing. That's the difference between trying and growing. The one who tries wants the pain to stop. The one who grows accepts that pain is part of the process. You don't have to force yourself to forget you. Just have to trust that everything is shaping you into someone stronger. One day, you'll realize that strength isn't about needing no one, it's about not depending on anyone. You can love without losing your boundaries. You can give without erasing yourself. Love is no longer a place to gamble your worth, but a space to express the wholeness already within you. When you reach that point, you stop loving to fill a void you love to share your abundance. Look in the mirror. The person staring back is no longer a victim of the past. That's someone who has learned to stand without being pulled up. Someone who can smile through the rain of memories, knowing that tears are not weakness. They are courage made visible. You haven't lost anything. You've reclaimed ownership of your life. From now on, every small action, waking up on time, caring for yourself, keeping your promises, is how you strengthen this new identity. You no longer say, I'll try, but this is who I am. When you live by that truth long enough, you don't need to convince yourself anymore. Your actions become the proof. You were once the one waiting to be chosen. Now you are the one choosing yourself. You once sought safety in others. Now you are your own safe place. You once thought love was a destination. Now you understand love is a journey. And you're walking it not to find someone who completes you, but to walk beside them as someone already whole. When a heart has just cracked, what it needs first isn't new promises, it's small steps, very small ones. Steps so tiny that you can still take them even on the days when you feel completely drained. Because healing isn't a single leap forward. It's 1,000 small choices you make each day, even when your heart still feels heavy. Start with the simplest thing. Sit quietly with yourself for 5 minutes. You don't need perfect meditation, music, or candles. Just sit, breathe in deeply, exhale slowly, and allow yourself to feel. Don't try to push the sadness away. Don't block the memories, let them pass like clouds. Let your heart be allowed to hurt. When you accept your emotions, you're doing something most people are afraid to do, you're facing them. And that's when healing begins. Then, write down 3 things you're grateful for today, no matter how small. It could be a morning without rain, a cup of coffee made just right, or simply the fact that you're still breathing. Writing it down pauses your mind amid the chaos. It brings you back to the present, the only place where change can happen. Do this every day, not to forget, but to remind yourself that life still has room for light, even on its darkest days. Next, take one small action for yourself. Not to distract from the pain, but to rebuild trust in your own hands. Make your bed, walk for 10 minutes, turn off your phone for an hour, read a few pages of a book you used to love. Each small act restores a sense of control. Every time you complete one, you send yourself a quiet message. I still can. If you can, write a letter not to your past, not to the person you lost, but to your present self. Write to the one who's carrying the weight, who's been enduring in silence. Write gently. Tell yourself you're proud of still being here. Forgive yourself for loving too much. No one else needs to read it. The act of writing is enough to remind you. You are still worthy of being heard. Another small step, care for your body. When your soul aches, your body often gets neglected. Eat a nourishing meal, drink water, sleep a bit earlier. Don't think it's trivial. Your body is the vessel that guards your spirit. When you care for it, you're telling your mind, I am worthy of love, even when no one else is here. Learn to say no to what drains you. Not every invitation, conversation, or memory deserves a return. Every no is a yes to your peace. Be mindful of what you allow back into your mind. Old love doesn't just live in memory, it lingers in photos, songs, and habits. A small step is learning to release one thing at a time. No rush, just little by little. One day, stand before the mirror. Look deeply into your eyes, not to judge, not to find flaws, but as if you were looking at a dear friend who's been through something hard. Say out loud, "I'm still here. I won't abandon myself." It may sound simple, but that promise is one of the most powerful acts a broken heart can make. It turns you from a victim into your own protector. And if someday your chest feels too heavy, step outside. Feel the wind on your face. Hear the hum of the city. Smell coffee or freshly cut grass. The world is still moving, life goes on, and you cracks and all are part of that rhythm. Every breath you take is proof that you still have a chance to begin again. These small steps may seem ordinary, but they're the foundation of resilience. You can't heal overnight, but you can take small steps one day at a time. The right small action, repeated hundreds of times, reshapes who you are. Believe that. Remember, you don't have to be okay yet. You just have to choose to continue. Start today. 5 minutes of silence, 3 moments of gratitude, 1 kind act for yourself, and repeat it tomorrow. Gradually, you'll find that pain no longer controls you. Instead, you'll be using it as fuel. Each small step is a brick, and over time, you'll build a solid home within yourself, a place where your heart can finally rest, unafraid of the storms outside. There is an invisible force that everyone who has ever been hurt in love must face. It isn't loud or violent, but quiet, persistent, and subtle. It's called resistance. It's the invisible pull that keeps you from moving forward, even when your heart longs to be free. It shows up when you try to start a new day and old memories suddenly rush in. It whispers, "Don't you'll get hurt again," just when you're about to open your heart. Resistance isn't your enemy. It's your mind's natural reflex, trying to protect you from being hurt again. But ironically, that protection becomes a cage that locks you inside your past. Every time you obey it, you don't become safer, you just move farther from freedom. Resistance doesn't fade by avoidance. It weakens only when you dare to face it. Whenever your mind builds walls like, "I'm not ready," "I can't," or "I'll start when I forget them," pause and ask, is this the truth or just fear speaking for me? Most of what we call not ready is really fear in disguise. You don't need to be ready to begin. You just need to begin. Readiness will follow. When you feel pulled back into memory, stop for 2 minutes. Breathe deeply, place your hand on your chest and ask, what am I protecting? Maybe it's hope, maybe it's the belief that only they could make you happy. But if you look deeper, you'll see what you're really trying to protect isn't the memory, it's yourself, the part that fears being hurt again. And the best way to protect that part is to move forward, even one small step at a time. Resistance often takes 3 forms: memory, fear, and paralysis. Memory drags you back into happy moments, blurring the line between nostalgia and reality. Fear whispers that if you love again, you'll lose everything. Paralysis numbs you, making every day pass in silence. But all 3 can be defeated with the same weapon, action. Remember, emotions are energy. They need movement to stay alive, not stagnate. When you act, even in small ways, you redirect that energy. Walk for 10 minutes. Write your thoughts down. Clean a corner of your room. Call a trusted friend. Every action is proof to your mind that I still have a choice. And choice, that's what resistance fears most. Resistance loves to disguise itself as needing more time. But time doesn't heal if you do nothing with it. It only lulls pain into sleep, waiting to wake again. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until memories fade. Act while your heart still trembles, while fear still whispers. That very moment, trembling but moving, is where real strength is born. A small trick to disarm resistance. Shrink your goal until it's impossible to fail. If you're afraid to open up, start by smiling at a stranger. If you fear loneliness, take yourself out to eat once a week. If you fear emotions resurfacing, write a short paragraph about them. You don't need to climb the whole mountain, just take one small step up the slope. Once you move, the inertia of fear weakens. Resistance is clever. It says things that sound reasonable. I'll wait until I'm sure. I just don't want to be hurt again. I'm protecting my heart. But your heart doesn't need to be wrapped in silence. It needs to be used, to beat, to trust again. Like a muscle, it only grows stronger when exercised. When you catch yourself falling back into old thoughts, try a simple habit. Count to 3 and move. 3 seconds before fear takes control. 3 seconds before your mind builds excuses. 3 seconds that can change the course of your day. It sounds small, but that smallness destroys resistance's power. Because resistance only survives in hesitation. Don't expect it to disappear one day. It never does. It's always there, like the wind against a sailor's ship. But sailors don't wait for calm seas. They learn to adjust their sails. You must do the same. Don't wait for your emotions to align before you live. Learn to live with them and still move forward. One day, you'll realize resistance never left it, simply changed its role. It turned from an obstacle into a teacher, reminding you that you're doing something that matters. Each time you feel fear, hesitation, or doubt, smile. It means you're nearing a stronger version of yourself. Remember, fear doesn't command you. It only speaks. You decide whether to listen. And if today you win over it for just 5 minutes, that's already victory. Because every time you don't surrender, you're rewriting your story from being ruled by fear to becoming the one who rules your own life. No one heals by luck. There is no one day when pain magically disappears. Healing doesn't come from inspiration, it comes from systems, small, repeated habits that quietly rebuild your stability and inner peace. The ones who overcome heartbreak aren't the strongest. They're the ones who design a structure that keeps them from falling apart. Think of your heart as a house under renovation. You can't rebuild it all in one day, but you can clean one corner each day. A system is your blueprint, how you clean, how you rebuild the walls, how you open the windows to let light in. With a system, you no longer depend on motivation to act. You simply follow the plan, no matter how you feel. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 1. Create a morning ritual. Asterisk, asterisk. Before the world pulls you in, spend at least 10 minutes with yourself. A cup of tea, a few lines in a journal, or several deep breaths. It doesn't matter what you do, only that you do it consistently. This is your silent promise. Asterisk. I choose myself first. Asterisk. The way you start your morning tells your mind you are worthy of care. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 2. Build a safe space. Asterisk, asterisk. Choose a small corner of your home where you can sit, think, write, or simply breathe. Place something there that brings calm, a candle, a notebook, a photo that symbolizes strength. Over time, your brain will recognize this place as your sanctuary, a space without judgment, a spiritual charging station for weary days. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 3. Create an evening dialogue. Asterisk, asterisk. Spend 5 minutes each night talking to yourself, not to complain, but to listen. Ask, what did I do well today? Did I care for myself? Was I kind to me? This dialogue builds a bridge between logic and emotion. It trains you to self-soothe, a skill most adults forget. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 4. Schedule your emotions. Asterisk, asterisk. It may sound strange, but if you don't give your emotions space, they'll invade everything else. Work, sleep, moments of joy. Set a time each day to be sad, maybe while journaling at night or taking a walk. When sadness has its own hour, it won't take over the rest of your life. Slowly, you'll feel the waves calm. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 5. Build discipline through small actions. Asterisk, asterisk. Choose 3 simple things and make them daily habits. Wake up on time. Go to bed on time. And do one good thing for your body. Discipline is the frame that protects your soul. With it, emotions can't break you. Discipline isn't harshness, it's self-kindness, because stability is the soil where healing grows. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 6. Disconnect with intention. Asterisk, asterisk. Set limits for your phone, especially social media. Every scroll compares your pain to someone else's highlight reel, draining your energy. Give yourself 1 screen-free hour before bed. Use it to read, listen to calm music, or simply sit still. When external noise quiets, your inner voice becomes clear. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 7. Systematize gratitude. Asterisk, asterisk. Keep a Times gratitude journal. Asterisk. Each night, write down 3 things that made you smile. However small, when you train your brain to look for good, it rewires itself from focusing on loss to noticing what remains. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it reminds you that life was never just darkness. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 8. Design a recovery protocol. Asterisk, asterisk. Some days you'll stumble, cry, or lose control. Don't let guilt take over. Prepare a recovery plan for those moments, actions that bring you back. Turn off your phone, take a walk, call a trusted friend, or reread encouraging notes. When you have a plan, you don't have to make decisions in emotional chaos. Asterisk, asterisk. Step 9. Reinforce with rewards. Asterisk, asterisk. When you've lived a day by your system, reward yourself with something small, a warm bath, your favorite meal, a cozy movie. Rewards aren't indulgence. They're reinforcement. Your brain needs joy to sustain good behavior. The beauty of a system is that it doesn't need inspiration to function, only commitment. When you keep promises to yourself long enough, effort turns into instinct. Good habits become automatic. Your inner world organizes itself, like a once dark house now filled with light. One day, you'll notice you're no longer trying to be okay, you just are. Stability becomes natural because you've built a foundation. And that foundation, your rituals, habits, boundaries, and gratitude, is the sturdy frame upon which your heart rebuilds itself. When you're healing, it's not just your heart that needs rebuilding, your environment does too. The space you live in, the people you meet, the sounds you hear, even the light in your room, all of these are silent messages shaping your state of mind. If you want to build a stronger version of yourself, start by designing an environment that supports that version. Look around your room. Maybe there are still old gifts on the shelf, photos, or small objects that quietly carry the energy of the past. Every time you see them, even for a second, memories knock gently at your heart. That's not weakness, it's memory doing what it does. But if you want to move forward, you need to refresh your space. Start by cleaning. Remove the things that make your heart heavy, not to deny your past, but to give the present room to breathe. Every object holds energy. Keep what brings you peace, a painting, a book, a chair where you love to sit and listen to music. Place flowers on your table, change your curtains, move your desk. Physical change sends a signal to your mind, life is moving forward. When you refresh your surroundings, you're telling yourself you're ready for the next chapter. Let light be your ally. Light has the power to soothe the dark corners of the mind. Each morning, open your windows, breathe deeply, let sunlight touch your skin. Invite nature into your home air, light, birdsong, or even a small green plant. When you reconnect with nature, you reconnect with your own natural rhythm, and nature follows one eternal truth. Every wound heals when it's nurtured by light and time. Beyond the physical, design your emotional environment. Pay attention to the people around you. Is there someone who drains you, always speaks negatively, or keeps pulling you back into memories you're trying to release? Not everyone means harm, but not everyone is meant to stay on your healing journey. Give yourself permission to choose the energy around you. Keep those who make you feel heard, respected, and safe to be yourself. And if you must, quietly step away from places that exhaust your soul. Another key part of your environment is sound and language. Be mindful of what you allow into your mind each day. If you still replay old songs tied to pain, pause them not to forget, but to protect your heart from being dragged backward. Choose sounds that lift you: meditation, music, instrumentals, or podcasts that nurture growth. Every word you hear is a seed planted in your mind. Choose the seeds of peace. If you work or create, organize your surroundings to support focus. A clean desk, a light scent, a notebook to track your progress. Small details build the feeling of control. When your outer world is in order, your inner world begins to balance too. Bring movement into your environment. Don't let your room become a cage. Play music and let yourself dance for a few minutes. Schedule time outdoors, walk in the park, visit your favorite cafe, read under the sunday. Your environment isn't limited to four walls. It's the sum of experiences you allow yourself to have. The more movement you allow, the more energy flows. And don't forget the inner environment, your mind. It's a room too, one that needs daily cleaning. When a negative thought appears, don't push it away. Observe it like tidying a cluttered table. Pick it up, look at it, and ask, does this thought serve me? If not, gently set it aside. No judgment, just cleaning. Each time you do this, you make space for peace to enter. A good environment doesn't erase sadness, but it gives you room to breathe when sadness visits. It doesn't remove memories, but it helps them lose their power to imprison you. Remember, your environment is your quietest companion. It can either nourish you or drain you, and you always have the right to choose the energy you live in. One day, when you walk into your own room and feel peace, when sunlight touches the walls that once held your memories, you'll understand you haven't just rearranged your things, you've reorganized yourself. Every tidy corner reflects a cleansed part of your mind. Every ray of light is a sign of rebirth. And you'll realize your environment doesn't just mirror who you are, it's an active part of your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. One of the most powerful moments in your healing journey is when you stop blaming, when you look back and no longer point at anyone else but begin to turn toward yourself. Not to punish or guilt yourself, but to reclaim control over your life. Because as long as you believe someone else broke you, you're still handing them the power to dictate how you feel. Only when you take 100% responsibility do you become truly free. Let's be honest, in pain, we all want someone to hold accountable. If only they hadn't said that. If only they hadn't left. If only I hadn't trusted. Those if-onlys are the chains that keep you stuck. But the truth is, no one owes you happiness. No one is obligated to stay and make you feel whole. Love is a choice, and because it's a choice, so is separation. When you accept that, you reclaim emotional sovereignty. Taking responsibility doesn't mean taking blame. It means looking at your part and saying, I contributed to this outcome, and I can learn from it. Maybe you stayed silent when you should have spoken, tried to fix what was already gone, or trusted someone more than yourself. That's okay. Every decision made sense at the time. But now, you can choose differently. Once you own your part, you stop being the victim and start being the creator of your next chapter. Responsibility is the light that guides maturity. It shows you that life doesn't happen to you. It happens times for times you. That small shift in perception changes everything. When you believe life happens times for times you, every event becomes a lesson, every heartbreak a form of training. Suddenly, you stop fearing failure. You stop resenting others. You start finding meaning in what once hurt. Remember, you can't control other people, but you can control your response. You can't change how someone loves, but you can change what kind of treatment you accept. You can't make anyone stay, but you can learn to stay with yourself. When you stop trying to change others, your energy returns to you. And that's when real strength begins. Maybe you've been betrayed, abandoned, or deeply hurt. But if you stop only at feeling victimized, you'll unconsciously turn pain into identity. Ask yourself instead, what can I learn from this? That question turns tragedy into curriculum. It transforms you from a victim into a student of life. Students don't resent, they observe, reflect, and grow. Think back to the last time you were truly hurt. Write down 3 things you learned because of that experience. Maybe you learned that trust must be earned, that love cannot survive without respect, or that solitude isn't as scary as you thought. When you extract lessons, you turn pain into wisdom. Every scar becomes proof of insight. And remember, taking responsibility doesn't mean enduring mistreatment. If someone hurt you, you don't have to forgive right away. But you can choose not to let anger control you. Because hatred is also a leash. Holding on to it keeps that person alive in your mind. Forgiveness isn't saying, they deserve it. It's saying, I deserve peace. Responsibility also means daring to say no, to walk away from what no longer serves you, to protect your boundaries. Many mistake endurance for patience, but enduring the wrong thing is just self-abandonment. Strength isn't silent suffering. It's choosing what's right, even if it means being alone for a while. Each morning, look in the mirror and ask, what am I creating today? That question keeps you in the driver's seat. It reminds you that you are the designer of your life, not just a reactor to circumstances. Every small act, exercising, working, caring for yourself, is a quiet declaration. Asterisk, I am responsible for me. Asterisk, responsibility is freedom because it frees you from the illusion of control over others. When you understand that people act according to their level of awareness, anger fades. Clarity replaces it. And when you see clearly, you no longer need revenge or validation. You simply keep walking your path, knowing it's yours to walk. One day, you'll thank those who hurt you. Not because the pain vanished, but because through them, you learn to take responsibility for your own happiness. You no longer wait for someone to treat you right, to feel at peace, or for someone to stay to feel complete. You realize everything good begins within. And when you know that, you stop waiting for happiness, you create it. Taking 100% responsibility isn't easy, but it's the only road to true strength. Because when you own your life fully, you lose the right to blame, but gain the power to change. You can't control anyone else, but you can control yourself. And that is the greatest freedom a human being can ever achieve. There are nights when you look back at everything and whisper, why did this happen to me? You remember giving everything you had, loving deeply, trusting fully, trying desperately to hold on, only to be left with silence. You think you failed at love, failed to keep someone, failed to protect yourself. But the truth is, love has no failures. It only has lessons that shape you into a deeper version of who you're meant to be. Failure isn't an ending, it's the beginning of growth. Just as a seed must decay to sprout, the human heart must break to be reborn. When love ends, you don't lose your worth, you're being refined, molded into the person you are becoming. There's no such thing as true failure when you're willing to learn from it. People fear failure because they see it as proof of mistakes. But heartbreak isn't a mistake, it's a mirror reflecting what you've yet to understand about yourself. How did you love? From what place did you give? Who and what did you place your expectations in? Every question, if you dare to answer honestly, leads to one truth. You didn't lose, you're being trained. When seen through the right eyes, failure becomes fuel. It burns away illusion and lights up what's real. When someone leaves, they don't take your love with them, they take only what no longer aligns. They teach you to love deeper but with fewer illusions. They show you that loving doesn't mean losing yourself. and that your worth isn't found in being chosen, but in choosing to rise after being left behind. Think of the times you've stumbled before a job that didn't work out, a dream that fell apart, a person who walked away. Back then, you thought you'd never recover, but you did. You're still here, breathing, living, continuing. Every time, failure didn't destroy you, it trained you. It taught you endurance, patience, faith, and the courage to stand again. And this time is no different. You won't just survive. You'll grow from the very place you fell. Imagine failure as an invisible gym. Every rejection adds emotional strength. Every tear stretches your capacity to feel and endure. Slowly, you become stronger without noticing. No one sees that process, but every so-called failure is quietly building your foundation of resilience. What makes failure painful isn't the outcome, it's the story you tell yourself about it. When you say, "I was abandoned," you cast yourself as a victim. But when you ask, "What did I learn from their leaving?" you turn the same story into victory. The words you choose become the path you walk. Every sentence you speak is a brick in the architecture of your mind. The truly mature don't avoid failure, they transform it. They understand that lessons repeat until they're learned, just in different forms. That's why they stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" When you change the question, you change your life. Failure teaches humility. It strips away pretense, forcing you to meet the unpolished parts of yourself. It removes the mask of "I'm fine" and leaves you standing bare before reality. And in that naked truth, you find real power. Because only when you have nothing left to hide do you begin to live honestly. No pretending, no performing, just you. Raw, clear, and strong. You might think you've lost too much, but look closely, you still have yourself. And that is everything. Those who've failed know the value of patience, restraint, and compassion. Those who've been hurt know how to heal others. No one is stronger than the person who has shattered and still dares to love again. One day, you'll look back and smile. I didn't fail. I was being redefined. Love will no longer feel like a game of winning or losing, but a process of becoming. The one who hurt you will no longer be the one who broke me, but the one who helped me see who I am. And in that realization, failure turns into fire, lighting your path, illuminating your next steps, guiding you to places you never imagined you could stand. Failure isn't what you should fear. The real fear is living your whole life without daring to love, to trust, or to step beyond comfort because you're afraid of getting hurt. Loss isn't an ending, it's an invitation to begin again. This time with more wisdom and courage. So don't reject failure. Don't erase your past. Keep it like a small flame in your heart, a reminder that you were brave enough to love, to risk, to live fully. That flame will not burn you, it will forge you. And when it burns bright, you'll see that failure was never destruction, it was the fire that forged you into your best self. In the journey of healing, there's one mistake almost everyone makes. They want it to happen fast. They want to wake up one morning and realize the pain is gone. They want to stop remembering, stop hurting, stop flinching at the sound of an old song. But the heart doesn't work like a switch. It can't turn off feelings that were once real. Healing isn't an event, it's a process. And that process can't be forced, only loved. If you wait until the day you no longer hurt to start living again, you may wait forever. Because pain never truly disappears, it simply changes form. It becomes memory, understanding, and compassion. And that's the most beautiful thing healing gives you. It doesn't erase the past, it transforms it into wisdom. To love the process means accepting that there will be days you feel strong, and days you feel like you've slipped backward. Mornings where you wake up light, and nights where you still cry. That doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. No one walks through pain in a straight line. Healing moves in spirals, repeating, deepening, circling back for forgiveness again and again. If you want true healing, you must learn to love even the offbeat days, because in those moments of seeming regression, quiet growth is happening underneath. Every time you hurt, you're learning to touch your emotions without fear. Every time you cry, you're releasing stuck energy. Every time you get up, even after a heavy night, you're strengthening your will. To love the process is to stop asking, "When will I be okay?" and start asking, "Was I kind to myself today?" You can't measure progress by how far you've moved from pain, but by how deeply you can love yourself, times within times. The pain. Healing isn't about reaching a finish line. It's about growing deeper in the way you live. Imagine climbing a mountain. Sometimes you look up and the peak feels impossibly far. You're tired, discouraged, ready to stop. But if you turn around, you'll see how far you've already come. The wounds, the tears, the sleepless nights, all proof that you're still moving, and that's what matters most. There's a quiet power in slowing down. When you stop rushing, you start noticing. You notice the small things, the wind through the window, the comfort of sitting alone with tea, the joy of finishing something simple. These small moments heal you because they bring you back to the present, the safest place there is. Loving the process also means releasing comparison. No one's rhythm is the same. Some heal in weeks, others in years. Just as every physical wound heals at its own pace, so does the heart. Respect that rhythm. Don't rush it to match someone else's. Growth isn't measured by speed, but by endurance. A key part of loving the process is letting go of control. Sometimes you won't know what's coming next, who will enter your life, how you'll feel tomorrow, and that's okay. Healing isn't about predicting the future. It's about learning to trust the present. Believe that every small step counts, even when you can't see the results. A gardener doesn't stare at a seed each day asking, "When will you grow?" They just water it, nurture it. Trust that life is happening beneath the soil. Your heart is the same. It may still ache today, but deep inside, healing is quietly taking root. Remember, loving the process doesn't mean giving up your dreams. It means choosing calm over panic, patience over pressure. You can still long for love and companionship, not to fill a void, but to share from fullness. When you fall in love with your own journey, love will no longer come from need, but from freedom. One day, when you look back, you'll see that this slow unfolding was the most beautiful part. Not when you were in love, not when you were breaking, but in the space between, where you learned to stand alone, to love yourself, to find your own light. Where you stopped asking, "When will it stop hurting?" and began whispering, "I'm alive. I'm learning to love myself." To love the process is to trust that everything is unfolding perfectly in its own way. Even if you can't yet see the meaning, life always has one. And sometimes, the only reason is so you can become stronger, deeper, and kinder every time you rise again. There will be days when you'll want to stop, not because you're weak, but because you're tired. You've come so far, tried so hard, and gone so deep into emotions no one else can fully understand. There will be mornings when you can't get out of bed, nights when you stare at the ceiling wondering if continuing is even worth it. That's when the reflex to give up begins to whisper. And if you're not careful, it becomes a habit, the habit of abandoning yourself every time life gets heavy. But you'll learn that as long as you don't stop, life will slowly open again. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to feel motivated every day. You only need one thing. Don't stop. Healing isn't a sprint, it's endurance. You don't have to run, just walk. You don't have to smile, just keep going. When pain returns, don't fear it. See it as a wave. It may crash hard, but it will always recede. Don't fight the current, learn to float on it. When you accept emotions as a natural part of the process, they lose their power to scare you. Every time sadness returns, and you stay present instead of running, you're strengthening your emotional muscles. People say, the strong never fall, but that's a lie. The strong are the ones who rise again after falling. True strength isn't about never failing, it's about never letting failure define who you are. Every time you want to give up, remember, your heart has survived far worse and still beats today. It has endured hundreds of heartbreaks, thousands of fears, and yet it keeps going because you're still here, still breathing, still capable. The reflex not to quit doesn't come from emotion, it comes from commitment. Emotions are water, they change every day. Commitment is the dam that keeps you steady. Promise yourself that no matter how hard today gets, you'll do at least one small thing to move forward. Write a few lines, take a deep breath, tidy a corner, step into the sunlight. Even a tiny action is proof that you chose progress over surrender. Create a mantra, something you can repeat when you want to stop. It could be, I've come too far to turn back, or I will not abandon myself again. Say it like breathing. Every time you repeat it, you send a message to your brain. No matter what my emotions say, my actions belong to me. Here's a truth few people admit. Giving up can be addictive. Each time you quit, you feel immediate relief, the illusion of escape. But over time, it erodes your trust in yourself. And nothing hurts more than living inside a body you can't rely on. On the other hand, every time you don't give up, you build another layer of self-trust. You tell yourself, I can count on me. And that is the foundation of real healing. When you're exhausted, allow yourself to rest, but not to quit. Resting is recovery. Quitting is surrender. You can slow down, cry, pause to breathe, but then stand again, because no one else can walk this path for you. This journey is yours alone. Remember why you began. It wasn't to prove you're fine to anyone else. It was to find peace within yourself. You don't need validation for this process. It doesn't happen in public. It happens in the quiet of your soul. Every single time you choose not to quit, even once you rewrite your story, a simple way to survive the urge to give up, shrink time. If a whole day feels impossible, focus on an hour. If an hour feels too long, focus on 10 minutes. Time will shrink to fit your strength. No one breaks down in 10 minutes if they truly intend to rise. And when you make it through 10 minutes, you'll find you can make it through a day. When life knocks you down, don't see it as failure, see it as gathering force. Just as an arrow must be pulled back before it can fly forward. Sometimes you must step back to launch farther. Not every setback is regression. Sometimes it's preparation for your next leap. One day, you'll look back and realize there were countless moments you thought you'd collapse, but you didn't. Nights you thought you'd disappear, but you survived. Each of those moments was a brick in the foundation of your strength. Others might not notice, but you will. You didn't quit. And that, not perfection, is what makes you unbreakable. So promise yourself this. No matter what, I will not abandon me. When everything falls apart, I will be the one who stays. And if I have only one choice left, I will choose to continue. Not because I don't know pain, but because I've learned how to turn pain into power. One day, you'll wake up, look back at this journey, and realize what changed you wasn't the moments of strength, but the moments you wanted to give up and didn't. That's when you truly become someone new, someone who no longer lives by emotion, but by commitment. And with time, that commitment becomes instinct, the instinct to never give up. One day, you'll wake up and realize your heart has softened. The pain is no longer a blade. The memories no longer sting like fresh wounds. You'll look back at the one who left and feel no anger, no regret, only understanding. Because you'll see that what they brought wasn't an ending, but the beginning of your becoming. You've weathered storms, and now you stand in the calm of dawn, not because time healed you, but because times did. Love once hurt you, but it also taught you the most important truth. Real strength isn't the absence of pain, but the ability to rise after it. You've learned how to love without losing yourself, how to give without despair, how to walk away without closing your heart. And when you can do that, love within you transforms. It's no longer fragile. It becomes a steady, warm light, independent, unassuming, simply present. Every wound that ever touched you had a purpose. They taught you patience, deep listening, gratitude. Without those nights of breaking down, you would never have known how much you could endure. Without loss, you would never have understood the value of holding on to yourself. Love never came to make you perfect. It came to make you times real asterisk. And realness, not perfection, is what makes you unshakable. Now, you no longer run from loneliness. You understand it's not an enemy, but a teacher showing you how to speak gently with your own soul. You no longer fear losing someone, because you've built something no one can take: faith, self-respect, peace. You no longer seek love as a refuge, but see it as a shared journey. You love not to be rescued, but because you are already whole. And one day, when love comes knocking again, you won't rush to open the door. You'll smile, move slowly, and welcome it with a heart forged of steel and gold, steady yet soft. You'll love not out of loneliness, but from the desire to give. Because when love has broken you before, and you still choose to love again, that isn't just courage, it's freedom. You didn't lose, you were reborn. And when you look back, you'll see that every tear, every collapse, every ache had meaning. Because all of it built the person standing here now, grounded, clear, and stronger than ever before. Pain didn't destroy you, it trained you. Love didn't break you, it built your backbone. So stand tall, because heartbreak was never your defeat. It was your rebirth. Thank you for walking with me through this story. Healing is never about rushing, it's about remembering that even pain has purpose. If this message spoke to your heart, let it stay. Share it with someone who's still finding their light. And when you're ready, come back for more stories that remind your soul you're still growing.